My name is Brian Inuma. Our company is Strategic Systems Group. We are a Los Angeles-based IT consulting firm and experts in enterprise resource planning. We help clients leverage their ERP systems to provide peace of mind that their businesses are running smoothly and profitably.
Good afternoon. David Savelli with Strategic Systems Group.
Okay, let's go on to our next topic, which is upgrades. So we've both observed situations where clients have just kind of stuck with a version and years have gone by and they're still stuck on the version. So how does that impact the operation of the company?
Well, upgrades are, people, like I said earlier, there is a fatigue after you do an upgrade or an installation. Nobody wants to, it can be very problematic, especially if it's on some of the larger upgrades that were very painful. And Microsoft had got into the habit of doing them too regularly. If you're not, there's two sides of the story. If you do a lot of little ones, it's less painful versus one big one. But when you're doing a lot of little ones, you always look at, gee, I'm just doing too many. So I don't think there's ever a sweet spot of it. But you have to sort of take a look at what functionality is out in the new version and will it help you. We have some customers that are many, many, many versions behind on GP, and they didn't need to go to the newer versions because their business was small. It was resources were tight, cash was tight, and they couldn't afford it. And there was no real reason. There was no functionality that was in the upgrade. So they stood where it was. And then they paid the price later, many years later to do the upgrade, because now it's much more painful. I prefer to keep my customers, within a version or two at a patch level, because you don't want to get them out of too far to step, because there are bug fixes, there's performance things, there's some simple functionality that's being added to the application. So really what it comes down to is, where are you? Are you still supported? When are you going to fall out of support? What features are there that you're going to use? And what are those features worth? Are they worth the effort and the cost? What is the ROI on that to go through it? Are your third-party tools and your customizations, does any of the functionality that's in the new upgrade replace these? And then you have to start thinking about the cost of the customization and the cost and expense of implementing the third-party tools on this new piece, and then updating all your documentation and training to make sure that your people can actually use the application, the new features of the application.
In general, we often propose to clients that they stay on support in one form or another. Say, for example, something happened and they couldn't stay on support for whatever reason, financial or otherwise. And then something happens like ransomware. What happens in a situation like that?
So you say that, but this was a few months ago where we got somebody reached out to us where they were a very small GP site, and they were basically attacked by ransomware, and their systems were locked down, and they had a backup from a number of days before that. And what they wanted to do was they decided that they were going to stand up a new system, but in the cloud, so that they can come up in a hurry, and they can abandon the existing system, and they wouldn't have the same issue again. So we don't host cloud, but our master VAR does, and we have other sites that we work with, and we reached out to these, and we were surprised to hear that they did not want to work with this customer because they didn't want to put themselves in a position of it happening again to the same customer, but in their cloud environment. I was quite surprised, but it was they just felt that it wasn't worth taking that chance.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
From a standpoint of replacing software, where do you or how do you analyze replacement versus upgrade?
Um, Again, companies evolve, they change, they grow, they shrink. So I think of one company who was very large, was part of a large organization, and the large organization just kept spinning off other divisions and then finally spun them off. And they had a piece of software that was just too large and too complex for what they were doing. Um, they were running too much staff to do the simple manufacturing that they were doing. This was not a GP customer. It was just too complex. And in that case, we actually helped them move from a very complex ERP system down to GP because it better met their needs. So too often people think, let me upgrade my existing software to something, and then I'll evaluate how I'm going to use it. But you have to do that evaluation before you upgrade, because sometimes maybe you're just not on the right software anymore. Maybe the software evolved one direction and your business evolved in a different direction. And while GP is very flexible application and it can do quite a bit, maybe you've gotten too big for it. Or maybe you've shrunk to a point where, well, I can't think of it, people shrinking to a point where they couldn't still use GP. But sometimes businesses get just too complex, and they're working in such a way that GP may be not the right fit. Or you might upgrade and then add so many third-party tools and so many customizations that it just, again, there might be another software out there for you.
Thanks so much for joining us. We enjoyed our discussion and wanted to offer a way to continue our conversation. For watching today's video, we'd like to offer our bronze, silver, and gold packages for our Dynamics GP assessment. The bronze package, priced at $99, is an 8-point diagnostic, and you can choose from 2 of the following categories: system, application, training, and reporting. The silver package, priced at $199, is a 16-point diagnostic and will cover system, application, training, and reporting issues. The gold package, priced at $499, is a 16-point diagnostic, which includes everything above, plus 2 hours of consulting to resolve a pressing issue. If you'd like to take advantage of one of these offers, please contact David Cervelli or me. We'd be happy to help. Our contact information is on the screen. Again, our thanks, and make it a great day.